Welcome back, darlings. This is a paint thickness gauge from a brand called Goyojo. No, me neither. I hadn't heard of them before they got in contact. But they did get in contact and they sent me this to review, and I said, I will review it. You know, I'm happy to, but my reviews always, if possible, have a comparison so we can tell. Because you could look at this in isolation and it will just be promotional content because you wouldn't know if it's any good. What I have here is my NexDiag Standard Plus, and I've used this for years. It's regarded as one of the better economy paint thickness gauges in the market. That's why I use it. It's been very good. I've never had a fault or reason for a concern with this. But the way to assess this is against that. So this is made in Poland, if that matters to you. This is definitely made in China. It's been very good. The downside with this one is it doesn't have a screen on it. So you have to pair it with the app in order to be able to get your readings. This one has a screen, so that is really useful. You can just use it in isolation on its own, but you can pair it with an app, and unlike the Standard Plus and the NexDiag, you can create a map over the vehicle of where you have taken your readings and print that out as a report. So I want to see and explore that. I've not done it yet. The more expensive versions of the NexDiag do that. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail, do some comparison readings, and then go about using this around the rest of the vehicle. So the Goyojo paint thickness gauge. Let me open up what we've got in here first. So it comes with a nice little carry case, an instruction manual, which is both good and bad. It does have key information in it, however, some of it is missing and doesn't make sense. But it is easy to resolve. So inside the little nice carry pouch, you have the machine, which is then like restrained by this bit of elastic, and then on this side a USB-C cable, because you can plug it into the computer. I don't really understand why you would need to. A lanyard, which is actually a really good idea because this is quite a slippery shape, I've found, and with it not being soft touch or rubberized, even though you've got this dimple here to pinch, it can be a bit slippery, so that lanyard is useful. And then some calibration panels for aluminium and iron, and some shims so you can make sure you're getting the true readings. Calibration is really easy. You just need to make sure you do it for both types. And that's why I say the instruction manual does not say you need to do it for both types of substrate, whereas the one for the NexDiag does. So it's a quick introduction of the NexDiag. Their manual was really verbose and very good. Now, obviously, it would be here, it's out at the moment, and you get two shims. Now, these actually have a coating, so you can't calibrate or compare the calibration between what's on these calibration bits and on the Goyojo, because this one theoretically has clear on it, so they want to make sure that these are zeroed down to a 80 micron reading, whereas these are zeroed down to absolute zero. Well, absolute zero, not the temperature, but 0 microns. It's pretty straightforward. I like it. It's pretty simple to use. You power it on. It's powered by AAA batteries. Now, I like that. I think that's nice. At first I thought, oh, it'd be nice if it was like USB-C with a Li-on battery in it, but actually it means you can just swap them over as and when you need to, which is quite useful. I'll show you this now, which is quite good. You can change the color of the screen, and so you can have it dark or light. Light is really good for outside. Dark is good for inside and would use less battery. But you can also change the brightness. So this is its standard. Again, inside a studio, no problem. Outside, very difficult. Eye protection mode, bright, and then high brightness and outdoor. I've been using it on outdoor, and I've been using it in light mode while I've been outdoors. That's been absolutely fine. Now, go back to taking a reading. That is what you can see. You can change the orientation of the screen. I thought it might do it with an accelerometer. It doesn't, so you do have to change it. If you press the power button, so this means you could go and do a reading like that when you're looking down on it. But then if you were doing a horizontal panel, you might be able to be fine for you, or you might want to read it that way. Or if you're doing like a bonnet or something like that, or a roof, you'd want it this way. So it does change around and allows you to read it as you're going along. The important thing now is, let's go and try it compared to that NexDiag. So what I need to do now is just get this paired up. So this is the NexDiag, and you have to use this with a smartphone or tablet in order to get any readings. So I've just connected that. It's pre-done so that you haven't gone through the pairing sequence here, but it's relatively straightforward. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you take some readings. Now again, there's no screen, so you have to use a smartphone or tablet. I just prefer using my tablet. I find it works a bit better for me, a bit bigger, so I can see it more easily. And I don't have to have my other hand holding my phone. So as I'm going around in the door return, getting some initial readings, we're looking at 50 to 60 microns in there. It's quite thin. On the door, we're looking at 90. So let's go and have a look at the Goyojo. Now, before I get into taking readings, I'm going to show you changing that screen setting. But you can see now it's quite hard to see that screen in daylight. So let me change it into its brighter setting. And then I'll also change it into the other colorway so you can see that as well. So first off, we could go in and now we can see suddenly it's in the bright. Now I'm going to go for the outdoor setting. I think that's ultra bright. Now this is outdoor. And if I go and change the colorway, you can see how much easier it is to read. And that's the setting I'm going to use it in for this, because I find that easier outside to read. Talking of which, let's get into taking some readings. So we were about 50 odd. Now, I've actually paired this with the app inside, just so you can see the readings more easily. And later on, I'll just show it on the screen. Yeah, 50 to 60, that's comparable. That was very thin in that particular spot. But we're talking microns here, so we are very close. And would I be expecting to get exactly the same readings? Don't know. Probably not, but as long as they're close, that's the main thing. I'm going to demonstrate here the rotation of the screen, because you see there it's kind of unreadable, but now it's absolutely fine. This is what I was talking about. It does work very well. I like that feature. And I said originally I thought it'd be nice if it was based on an accelerometer. I can actually see that it's useful that it doesn't automatically rotate now. Anyway, I was getting different readings, as I said, so I thought the best thing to do would be to do a side-by-side comparison of reading in exactly the same spots with both machines and at once or straight after each other and see where we get to. So that's what we're going to try next. The NexDiag, I'm going to record it in the app because it's the only way to see it, and then on this one I'm going to see it on the device. Okay, so here you go, same spot. That's saying 50 microns on the NexDiag. $37, $40, $39. Okay, go back to the NexDiag. $50. That's 60 on the NexDiag. 62 here, so that's more in line. Again. So you can see I'm getting these different readings, and the only real way I could have ever tested this properly would be have a third one to then kind of work out which one was most accurate or closest to that, but I don't have that available, and it's not something I can do. They're very similar, but they are different, and I don't know which one is 100% correct. It's over here. 100 on the NexDiag. 101. Up here, that's 100, 107 on there. It's a bit erratic, isn't it? Let's try on the inside the door. That's giving me 50 on the NexDiag, 48, 43 there, 40 on the NexDiag. Let's go back for here again. Get that probe on there properly. 50. Saying 38. There is a really odd discrepancy in this part of the vehicle. I don't understand why. Let's go in the middle of the door. 110. 135. 110. What was this one saying? Like 120 there. 123. They do seem to be broadly comparable. Right, so now I want to, it's going to move this menu over here. I want to go to Profession, and you get to choose where you're taking the reading readings. You can do it as a 2D image, 3D one, and then you get to take your readings. So it gives you a suggestion of making about 5 or 6 meter readings. I don't think it then tells you to do it further around the body or not. We'll see. Here we go. Okay. It's telling me it's normal. It's also telling us the substrate, so we're getting a bit thinner down the front of the bottom here. Let's have a look. Whoa, this is so slick. 28. Okay, so I've done all of them, and it's just for the sake of reading the benefits. Ultra thick there, it had a really thick reading because it was like, oh, I've gone over the sticker. Okay. All right, so then I could do left, it would be right front fender, because it's using American terms. There we go. Now, what I don't like about this is it's not telling you whereabouts on that wing, whereabouts you're doing it. So this map isn't particularly useful. Let's say you've done that now, and that's what you wanted to share. So this gives and tells us that we've taken readings around the whole vehicle, and this is what they were. It doesn't tell you whereabouts they were on there, so it's useful, but not as useful as you might think, is my experience there. The question is, what do I think of this? And I have to say, it's pretty good. Once I saw that it was comparable in terms of the readings we were getting from that and the NexDiag, it was really nice to just be able to use the screen and work out as I was going along. I don't think the map that it produces on the app is particularly useful because it doesn't spread around where you're doing it. So it's more of a gimmick rather than a useful feature. However, if they did improve that over time, that would be beneficial. I love being able to see it straight on the screen. That is genuinely really useful, I have to say. It's quite light, it's not too cumbersome. I like the fact you can flip the screen around and do it in the different orientations. That really helps. So the question is it worth more than the NexDiag? So this one's about 128, but with my discount code goes down to about 110, just over. It's 10% off, versus about £100 for the NexDiag. Because of the capabilities and the features of this, I do like what you can do with this, especially the screen. That's really useful. But I really trust the NexDiag. The NexDiag definitely feels more premium. It's more solidly constructed. And that feels nice. It feels a bit less Chinese in terms of its build quality. But these are really good. And if you want to get into having the ability to read your paint before polishing and just assess the vehicle if you're going to look and buy it, you could do a lot worse than this, and without having the faff of having to pair it with a smartphone or a tablet or something like that. That's worth something. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Click down below to go and buy it if you want to, and yeah, I shall see you in the next one. Good luck with any polishing you got going.